Good morning and welcome to George Mason University's 55th annual spring commencement. I'm Andy Riddle, a proud George Mason alumnus.
It's an exciting day in Fairfax, Virginia. Hello everyone, I'm Jessica Riddle and I'm also a proud Mason alum.
This is a big day for thousands of graduates receiving diplomas today. After today's ceremony, Mason will have graduated nearly 250,000 students.
Go Patriots! Today's ceremony is truly historic. Did you know this year Mason is celebrating its 50th anniversary as an independent university?
50 years? Wow!
Wow's correct. Do you know what was happening 50 years ago when Mason was in its infancy?
Well, New York Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm announced her candidacy for president, making her the first black person of any gender to try for a major party's nomination.
That's right. Also, Magnavox introduced the Odyssey, the original home video game console. It was packed with pulse-quickening games like table tennis, ski, and submarine.
And the first pocket calculator was introduced. Although it's largely been replaced in daily life by the calculator app on our phones, high school and college students still rely on handheld calculators in advanced science and math classes.
Remember when teachers would say you aren't always going to have a calculator in your pocket?
Yeah.
Well, look who's laughing now.
How things have changed.
It's good. Just let me do it.
So sorry.
Going on 5. Amazing. I love that movie.
I just ambushed the whole thing.
Ready, 4, take 4.
I was trying to post back camera. You trying to post back camera? You just said, yeah, just let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. I've done it before. Right.
Yeah, all right. He's wearing a Delta costume.
Picture so hot, ready. Ready, 1.
Yeah, I was. Wait.
Let's go! Hi, Mom! And let's go!
Are you okay?
I feel like we should.
Yeah, that's the thing. I told them to like.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, it's shot of me.
You're in fifth, you belong on this side. Jess is all the way down there.
This is a video.
It's time to begin the academic processional. Leading the procession are the marshals of the Faculty Senate, followed by the candidates for bachelor's and master's degrees.
As part of Mason's traditions, the school conferrals of degrees are done in the order in which the individual colleges, schools, and institutes were founded. Doctoral degrees are also awarded in the order in which the first degrees in each program were conferred.
This university is truly one of the most remarkable stories in U.S. higher education. Since its inception a half-century ago, Mason has grown in size, stature, and influence.
Indeed it has. In fact, as Virginia's largest public Carnegie Tier 1 research institution, our alma mater has a history marked with many accolades and accomplishments. Since becoming a 4-year institution in 1966, and just 2 years later awarding its first degrees, Mason has become a university known for teaching excellence, acclaimed alumni, and a diverse student body.
No one could have imagined that in such a short time, Mason would emerge as the largest, most diverse, and most innovative research university in a state known as the cradle of higher education. Mason attracts students from all 50 states, as well as 130 countries across the globe, with many highly recognized fields of study, a number of study abroad and internship options, and its constantly growing distance education programs. With a thriving on-campus presence, over 350 student organizations, 22 Division I athletic teams, and proximity to Washington, D.C., the opportunities to excel at George Mason University are boundless.
Mason students are continuously making strides in headlines for their innovative and often life-changing research in the areas of health, sustainability, and security. The students walking into Eagle Bank Arena have earned the right to call themselves George Mason University Patriots. President Washington will be highlighting many amazing students during today's ceremony.
Does anyone want to hear more fun 50-year facts?
I do.
Perfect! In 1972, George Mason University became an independent member of the Commonwealth System of Colleges and Universities. Also in 1972, many popular food brands were just being created, like Snapple, Bottle Caps Candy, and Pib Extra. It also was the year McDonald's introduced the Egg McMuffin, officially starting their breakfast menu.
Cool. Another thing happening in 1972 was the launch of NASA's Space Shuttle program. The program was created to make a reusable spacecraft, reducing the cost of space exploration and making it more commonplace. Today, in 2022, commercial space flights are no longer a thing of the future thanks to this program and others like it.
Wow, it's crazy how things have grown in 50 years!
Today's music is presented by the George Mason University Wind Symphony.
Mason has an amazing music department that attracts great students, like today's student singer, Case Hope. Case is graduating today with a Bachelor's of Music and will have the honor of singing the national anthem and our alma mater. In addition to Mason's tradition of inviting a graduate to sing at commencement, another tradition is the student speaker. This year's speaker is Bhagya Nayar. Bhagya is graduating today with a bachelor's degree in Information Systems Operation Management.
Her speech is sure to be inspiring. Congratulations, Bhagya.
Speaking of inspiring, I'm looking forward to hearing from our commencement speaker, Stu Shea. Mr. Shea was the founder and chairman of the United States Geospatial Intelligence Foundation. He is currently chairman, president, and chief executive officer of Peraton, a national security technology company. He is a business leader, strategist, and intelligence professional providing mission support to the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. Imagine the stories he must have.
processional are candidates for doctoral degrees, the pinnacle of every academic endeavor.
You know what? I think I'd like to work towards my doctorate someday.
And you know what? I'd be proud to call you doctor.
George Mason University has so many unique attributes that set it apart from other universities. Mason boasts one of the strongest returns on investment in the Commonwealth. Recent graduates earn the highest median salaries among their peers at other Virginia institutions. Mason is one of the most diverse public universities in the country, and the Antonin Scalia Law School is one of the top 50 institutions for legal education.
So many of Mason's alumni live and work in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, providing new graduates a diverse and extensive professional network.
Mason prides itself as being agile and scrappy, and as a result, the university is constantly growing and advancing, whether it's through groundbreaking research or community-driven partnerships. Students and faculty are building Mason's renowned reputation with their trailblazing research in many fields, including bioengineering, conservation, community health, psychology, and economics. Mason's wide range of ongoing research includes the Multidisciplinary Institute for a Sustainable Earth, involving more than 500 faculty focused on Earth's future.
Wow, that's certainly something to brag about. There are incredible things happening at Mason every day, and today's celebration kickstarts what are sure to be many successful careers for the graduates. Still can't get over the fact that Mason has accomplished so much in such a short time. Where do you think you'll be in 50 years?
I don't know, but I do know I'm better off for having graduated from George Mason University. excitement among the crowd is mounting. There's so much energy as the graduates make their way into the Eagle Bank Arena.
There's a certain magic to coming together after COVID canceled so many important rites of passage. We're honored to be a part of this year's ceremony. are the teaching faculty, followed by the administrative faculty of George Mason University. Mason's distinguished faculty embodies the entrepreneurial spirit of the university and is making great strides in cutting-edge research.
It's interesting to see all the areas of academia represented in today's procession. Did you know the regalia worn in the processional date back to the 14th century?
That is quite the tradition.
It's time for the University Marshal.
You'll notice the marshal is holding a mace. A mace is a scepter that is symbolic of the school's authority and unity, and is only present when the president and board of visitors are in attendance.
The tradition of the academic mace began in the late 14th century, when two ancient instruments, the royal scepter and the battle mace, were combined to form a university president's symbol of authority.
It was also used in the early days of Oxford and Cambridge by the educational officials to shepherd unruly kids.
Let's hope we don't have to use it today.
Yes, let's.
The University Marshal is followed by the vice presidents, deans, directors of George Mason University, former Mason Medal recipients, and the president of the Alumni Association.
Be on your best behavior, here are the heavy hitters. We have the board of visitors, the rector, and of course, President Washington.
You know what that means. This concludes the processional, and we're on to the main event. We hope you enjoy George Mason University's commencement ceremony. Happy 50th, Mason, and most importantly, congratulations, graduates!
The 2022 commencement exercises for George Mason University have now begun. Please stand for the presentation of colors and the singing of the national anthem.
and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us as star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, you can do a little better than that. Good morning, everyone. Outstanding. Please be seated. So, before we begin, I'd like to thank the George Mason University Wind Symphony, conducted by School of Music professor Mark Camphouse, for the Armed Forces Melody we enjoyed here this morning in honor of our service members and our veterans. Can you please give them a round of applause? Professor Camphouse is retiring after 40 years of service, including 16 at George Mason University. This commencement ceremony is indeed his final performance as director of the George Mason University Wind Symphony, and so please join me again in congratulating him. I would also like to thank our vocalist, Case Hope, who sang the national anthem. Case is a graduating senior, earning a Bachelor's of Music degree from our Newberry School of Music and the College of Visual and Performing Arts. Well, fellow patriots, families, friends, distinguished guests, we have arrived. We congratulate our 2022 graduates. Today, we will award more than 9,700 bachelor's, master's, and doctoral and law degrees, as well as nearly 800 certificates in our ceremonies. These outstanding students come from 89 countries, 47 states, and a multitude of religious, ethnic, gender, and cultural backgrounds. They are representative of the largest, most diverse, and most innovative public research university in the state of Virginia. And these graduates have earned the distinction, have the distinction of earning their degrees in the very same year that we mark Mason's 50th anniversary as an independent university. That's a big deal. More than 1 in 4 of you today are first in your generation to graduate, or are the first in your family to earn a 4-year degree. Can those graduates please stand? so that you can all be recognized. Look, we are proud of all of our graduates, and we know what each of you had to do, and we know the support that you've had along the way. So graduates, let's take a moment to thank the people who accompanied you on your journey, the moms, the dads, the guardians, the siblings, the spouses and partners, the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, the cousins, the friends, the spiritual leaders and guiders, the coaches, and the pizza delivery guys. Let's thank all of them with a big round of applause. Thank you. So graduates, your journey has been like no other. You could not have anticipated the challenges that would arise during your time here. None of us could. Many of our graduates earning degrees today have only known the COVID era during their time at Mason. It has been our top priority to keep you safe and to keep you on track to reach this day with best in-class planning, response, teaching, and recovery efforts. We shifted thousands of courses online. We launched an app to help monitor the health of our campus community every day. We conducted surveillance testing. We developed and administered our own rapid result large-scale testing system using a saliva-based technology. We stood up 5 testing sites. We hosted mass vaccination clinics. We sent mobile health clinics into the most vulnerable communities in our region to support many of your families and neighbors. Together, as a university and as a Northern Virginia community, we rose to meet the challenge. And guess what? That was all last year. We have new challenges created or exacerbated by COVID. Rising economic and education inequality, increasing cost of goods and services, rampant mental health issues, civic unrest, challenges to our democratic process, marginalized ethnic and religious minorities. The vision and ambition of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals are more important now than ever, and they will be even harder to achieve because of the impact of the pandemic. Our challenge, and indeed your challenge, as graduates is just beginning. You emerge today perhaps a different kind of graduate than you had anticipated. However, you leave here, scars and all, more prepared than any class before you to tackle and solve the challenges that I just highlighted. And why do I say that? For several reasons. Number one, you earned a degree from one of the top research universities in the country with thought leaders who are actually tackling grand challenge problems related to climate change, cybersecurity, public health, and social justice, to name a few. Number two, you earned a degree from a university whose campus looks like what America will soon look like. That is a campus with no clear ethnic majority. You're accustomed to working and collaborating across cultures and diversity of origin, identity, circumstance, and yes, thought. This allows you to see the world more completely, think more creatively, and examine full truths. And number three, you've not only adapted to this challenge, you're leading by generating change, managing the challenges that the pandemic has thrown at you, and finding new ways to be successful. Everything that has been thrown at you, you just kept coming. and I am proud to have you all be graduates today. Let me tell you briefly about a few members of your class of 2022, some leaders and innovators and change makers we're so proud to honor today. Today we have a 66-year-old earning her doctorate in nursing practice the same day her daughter is earning an art and visual technology degree. When we say Mason is here to serve scholars of all ages, we actually mean it. Another graduate today is an honor college student, earning a degree in conflict analysis and resolution. She is president of UndocuMason and the student support coordinator for undocumented students at the university. This first-generation graduate has been a peace-building fellow, a summer fellow with the Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance at UCLA, and a community organizing intern at the Legal Aid Justice Center. And we have two graduates who are particularly admirable for their hard work and determination in campus leadership. One of the students, who has Down syndrome, initially enrolled in the Mason Life program for young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. She later applied to earn a bachelor's degree and today graduates with a degree in integrative studies with a concentration in social justice and human rights. She lives her ideals. She advocated for Mason Life students to be able to join a sorority, vote in student body elections, and run for office. And then she was later elected a student senator. Another trailblazing graduate today, a community outreach associate for the National Down Syndrome Society, will receive her bachelor's degree in sociology with a concentration in social change and inequity. The recipient of a heart transplant, she has fought against organ transplant discrimination in persons with disabilities. I tell you that I am proud to say that these two graduates will be just the 5th and 6th students born with Down syndrome to ever graduate with a bachelor's degree from a U.S. university. These are the types of success stories we produce here at Mason. That is a testament to the students themselves, their communities of support, and to the Mason faculty and staff members who do such a tremendous job of educating, inspiring, and serving our students. Mason faculty and staff members, please stand so that we can thank you for the role that you play in the lives of our graduates and for the inclusive academic community that you have nurtured at George Mason. I would also like to recognize the members of our President's Council who could join us today. Thank you for your support and guidance. Will you all please stand? Members of our President's Council. I'd like to thank our Alumni Association for its work to maintain a lifelong bond with more than 220,000 graduates. Our graduates today are now part of an enormous network for careers and recruitment opportunities. You are always welcome back to campus to speak anytime, to serve, to work, and to attend events. As alum, you are forever a part of Mason's story and success and we will continue to celebrate your achievements. And finally, round of applause. And finally, I'd like to recognize our governing body, the Board of Visitors, for the tremendous job they do in guiding this growing and innovative university. Would the Board of Visitors members here today please stand and be recognized? It is now my pleasure to introduce the Rector of the George Mason University Board of Directors, Jimmy Hazel, who will introduce our commencement speaker and confer the honorary degree.
Thank you, Dr. Washington. I very much appreciate that. A little bit off script, but I do that a lot. I want to, on behalf of the Board of Visitors, I want to congratulate every one of our graduates who are here today. Over 9,000 degrees, and they're well-deserved and hard-earned, and congratulations to all of you. I would also like to take a moment on behalf of the Board of Visitors, and I'd like to thank our faculty and our staff for the last 2 years when we were unable to have this celebration in Eagle Bank Arena, but you all worked together to take every challenge that faced you, to overcome the challenges, and to continue this university on the course that Dr. Washington referenced, and my very sincere thank yous to the faculty and the staff for all that you've done. So, one guest here today who can attest to a lifetime of achievement is our featured speaker. Stu Shea is a business leader, strategist, and intelligence professional serving missions of consequence within the national security community. He is currently president, chairman, and CEO of Peraton, a next-generation national security company. Mr. Shea also is the former president and chief operating officer of Leidos and was a principal architect in the creation of Leidos while serving as chief operating officer at SAIC. Mr. Shea also has held executive leadership positions with Northrop Grumman Corporation and others. He is the founder of the United States Geospatial Intelligence Foundation and has been the chairman of the senior advisory groups for 2 directors of national intelligence. Mr. Shea is a recipient of numerous recognitions, including the Intelligence Community SEAL Medallion, the USGIF Lyndall Finney Lifetime Achievement Award, Washington Business Journal's Outstanding Director, and 50 Most Influential Virginians. Please welcome Stu Shea. All set? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors of George Mason University, I confer on Stu Shea the honorary degree of Doctorate of Humane Letters with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Good morning. I told them earlier today I didn't need a microphone. Let me first thank President Washington and the Board of Visitors for inviting me to participate in this celebration. To the faculty, parents, siblings, grandparents, family members, and friends, I am honored to be with you today celebrating the 50th anniversary of George Mason University. Now think about how truly memorable and unique that number is, 50. The golden 50th anniversary. You are the only class that will ever graduate from Mason celebrating one of the signature colors of the university, Pantone number 116, gold. Now, the graduating classes of the 49th and 51st anniversaries will clearly do great things, but they're kind of like the silver and bronze medal of commencements. You're the gold medal class, and everyone will remember you and the impact that you will make. Now, according to your website, Mason Gold represents optimism, enthusiasm, fun, clarity, and confidence. I cannot think of a better way to describe what lies ahead for you in the next 50 years. Now, looking back on my own life 50 years ago, I was a sophomore in high school, contemplating what I would study in college. My major went from biology to chemistry to forestry, and ultimately making a choice to pursue a career in medicine. So, with complete clarity of purpose, I got my degree in geology. Now, after all, geologists were in high demand at the time. There was a worldwide oil crisis, and believe it or not, a gallon of gas cost a staggering 36 cents a gallon. But as I was finishing my degree, I realized I did not want to search for oil in Alaska. I always found maps fascinating, so instead, I decided to attend graduate school to study cartography. I went to the University of Kansas for my master's, and I had hoped to continue with my doctorate and eventually teach. But I had a chance instead to jump into the nascent field of computer mapping. It was just too exciting to pass up, given the birth of two new technologies, one called the internet, the other the personal computer. So I left Kansas in 1982, and my doctorate would have to wait. It took me a few years to start thinking about completing my PhD and fulfilling that goal. So in 1987, I took an initial class at a local university doing some exciting map research. That school was George Mason University. However, once again, other life priorities took precedence over finishing that last remaining academic goal. I can assure you, however, that I've had no regrets in the path that I followed on my journey, because I alone made those choices. Well, here we are 35 years later, and I am humbled to be asked to come back to George Mason and celebrate your special day. And in receiving an honorary doctorate, you have now completed my academic journey. Thank you. To the graduates, congratulations on starting your career journey. Today is an important rite of passage for you. You have reached an inflection point in your journey as you transition to full ownership of your own life choices, just as I did. I'm confident that your time at Mason has fully prepared you to embark upon that journey. And with each step along the way, you will have the support of friends and family and classmates as a core foundation to build upon. So, in celebrating that and taking that first step today, if you're able to join me, I would like you to stand. Okay, now I'd like you all to take one small step or lean in with your classmates. Okay, you can all be seated now. We'll come back to that later. Now, when you look at 50 years of accomplishments of the 225,000 alumni of George Mason University, it is mind-boggling. Nobel laureates, Pulitzer Prize winners, novelists, ambassadors, poets, professors, doctors, lawyers, politicians, CEOs, scientists, public servants, moms and dads, and yes, even geologists. And sitting here today in this audience is a comparable roll call. Regardless of your chosen field of endeavor, each of you in your own way will influence the future of the world, either through a single act or through a lifetime of effort. Now, as we look back upon history, there are many who have inspired us and made a difference by taking an important first step, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who in 1963 marched along the National Mall step by step and delivered the exalted "I Have a Dream" speech. Or Neil Armstrong, who in 1969 became the first person to set a foot on the moon and said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Or the 343 courageous New York City firefighters who in 2001 paid the ultimate sacrifice after climbing step after step into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center on 9/11. Although these examples are often remembered as singular events, they are really the culmination of a lifetime of effort. There are so many who have inspired us and are recognized for making a difference over their lifetime. Perhaps sitting amongst us is the next Nelson Mandela, Amelia Earhart, Charles Darwin, Mahatma Gandhi, Alan Turing, Jane Goodall, Albert Einstein, or Pablo Picasso. Each of you will have your own story, and all of us are excited to see what you will accomplish. Now, a moment ago, I asked you to stand or to lean in, to take a single step, and in doing so, we united together. As simple as that seems, our world, our nation, even our families sometimes has difficulty uniting. Yet we did it just now merely because I asked you to. No argument, no debate, no politics, no threat, no protest. You just trusted me, and we united. The people I mentioned earlier each took a first step, and others trusted and followed them to unite as one. Now, simple acts such as taking that first step can inspire a nation, raise awareness for a cause, motivate change, invent something new, or allay the fears of the unknown. As we celebrate together today, we are witness to that inspiration on a world stage. A former Ukrainian actor and comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, has united the people of Ukraine to defend their country. He stood up and he took a first step, and many are trusting him and following him. Now, for those among you that will rise up as he has done, that first step often requires courage, tenacity, conviction, resiliency, and patience. And for those who will ultimately respond to and follow those who take that first step, it requires trust, respect, and openness. But just as we did a moment ago, we can do more together than we can do apart in taking that first step. Whatever your individual path is from today forward, I encourage you, always take the first step to champion change on your journey, rather than letting change happen upon you. I can assure you that your time at George Mason has prepared you well for your future. Mason has changed your lives, but patriots can change the world. Now, as you look at those sitting next to you today, think about the changes that will soon take place. Tomorrow, you may never see these people again. For some of you, that may be a blessing. And it's clearly one of the rewards of graduation, getting away from these people. But with all seriousness, you will soon realize the incredible impact that these same people have made on your life. These relationships and many others will matter through your lifetime. Value your relationships. Treat others with courtesy, dignity, and respect. And even if you passionately disagree with someone else's view, you can always maintain civility in doing so. Now, in business, I have a simple corollary. Never burn down a relationship in pursuit of a personal goal just so you can stand upon the smoldering ashes in victory. The person that you step over on your career journey may be your boss tomorrow. Now, as you go forth today, one step at a time to change the world, accept that achieving your goals may be hard, and somewhere along the way, you may fail. I honestly believe that failure is just a dry run for future success. So take risks, have courage, be unafraid of the impossible, start small, think big, and scale fast, and approach your life journey with a passion and attitude to do the can't be done. Finally, I want to offer some thoughts about what I learned along the way on my own journey. I hope that they will help you navigate the sea of change that you will experience beginning today. One of the first women in Congress, socialite Claire Booth Luce, was well known for her quips, including the phrase, "No good deed goes unpunished." But perhaps my favorite quip of hers is, "A great man is one sentence." So as you begin your life journey today, what will your sentence be in 5, 25, or perhaps 50 years from now? How do you want to be remembered? Whose lives will you touch? What changes will you architect? What lasting impact will you make? What first step will you take? And who will you follow on the path? All the decisions and choices that you make from today forward will shape your one sentence. Now, in taking that career journey, always stay true to your goals. As Steve Jobs, the former CEO of Apple, once said, "Don't waste your life living someone else's life." So be honest with yourself and your real motivations. Dig deep to find what you feel most passionate about and pursue a future in what you honestly value in life. In other words, you now have the freedom to discover who you are and the permission to become the authentic you. Now, along the way, accept that your career will likely be a composite of hard work, luck, and serendipity. Sometimes you will make the wrong choices, but don't be discouraged and don't give up. You will have plenty of time left in your life to make good choices and ample opportunity to continue to screw up as well. Welcome to being real. And life isn't always fair, and things won't always go your way. It's okay to be disappointed, but then pick yourself up and learn from the obstacles you've encountered. With each roadblock, focus less on what happened and more on why it happened. Remember, life is filled with both questions and answers. The questions are far more important than the answers. Answers tend to stop a conversation. That is, unless the answer prompts a response. Well, why is that the answer? Questions, by contrast, express a powerful self-awareness of the limitations of your own skills necessary to overcome those obstacles. So be vulnerable, ask questions, have a goal to learn something new every day. I can assure you that the universe of knowledge that one does not have is far more exciting than the world of knowledge that you have today. Throughout your career, it's also enlightening to follow great leaders and emulate great role models. John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you're a leader. Find people like that. Follow people like that. They will inspire you. Or better yet, become a leader like that. For others will want to follow you. It will inspire them." And when searching for role models, seek out those who demonstrate a strong moral compass. They are the ones who are more focused on their character than their reputation, have a thirst for wisdom rather than power, value compassion more than greed, and believe deeply that team success breeds personal success, not the other way around. What you will learn from these great leaders and great role models is truly a gift. What you do with that gift is entirely your responsibility starting today. So in conclusion, you are the canvas of your own future. Don't paint within the lines. Be true to yourself. Find out who you are and who you were meant to become. And whatever path you choose, choose it because you will love what you do and have fun creating the masterpiece of your life that is your one sentence. Congratulations to you all, the class of 2022. Now trust your beliefs and go take that first step.
Thank you, Stu, for that inspiring talk and fantastic advice. We are all very grateful that you're here with us. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Ginsberg, and I have the honor of serving as the provost of George Mason University. George Mason University has established a tradition of having a graduating senior address their fellow students at commencement. We are pleased to continue that tradition today by introducing our student speaker, Bhagya Nayar. Bhagya is graduating from our School of Business with a Bachelor of Science in Information Systems and Operations Management, or what we call ISOM. And she minors in Business Analytics and Health Information Technology. She has a 4-year Dean's List student and an active member of the ISOM Honors Program, a business learning community. She studied abroad in Spain and also studied in Morocco. And she has held leadership positions in multiple clubs and organizations on our campus, including participating in 2 dance teams and the Alpha Psi Delta Women's Fraternity. Bhagya has been a part-time instructor at Mason's Communications Center, helping students with speech writing and also public speaking. Well, upon graduation, she will work as a technical analyst at the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. That's impressive, where she interned last summer. Please welcome to the stage graduating senior Bhagya Nair.
Thank you so much. Hello, spring class of 2022. Woo! As a graduate of the School of Business, it is my honor and privilege to say, we did it! Woo! We experienced a pandemic, a war, a change of presidencies, a supply chain disruption, skyrocketing prices, and a ton of all-nighters spent writing essays and taking Respondus lockdown browsers exams to be here today. And amidst all the chaos and cupped ramen, we stayed true to our goals. So, let's congratulate ourselves for making it through those long, tiring shifts at a part-time job, the plethora of club memberships and leaderships, the duties and responsibilities we held as a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, and making school a priority amongst it all. There's a famous saying that success is about the journey and not the destination. And today, it gives me great pleasure to recognize that no matter where we came from or the obstacles we faced, our journey and the decisions we made have brought us here today to celebrate our successes. As Charles Dickens states in A Tale of Two Cities, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. Like many of you, I came to Mason with a dazed look in my eye and enthusiasm for what the future holds. Being a first-generation college student in America, I pranced around campus, signing up for every club, any part-time position, and talking to every student I met, from my roommates in my freshman dorm to classmates in Econ 103. With each passing year, class, and club, I was a year older, a year wiser, and a bunch of mistakes smarter. I was the proud leader of many clubs on campus, and I met a lot of new students, some of whom I'm lucky to call my friends to this day. Of course, it all came to a screeching halt in March of 2020, sophomore year, when I realized spring break was about to become longer than a week. During my 2-year homestay, I found myself missing my friends and extracurriculars, feeling as though I was masking myself from all that college had to offer, pun intended. Life took a turn for the worse when I suddenly lost my father to cardiogenic shock in November of 2020. I hit a new low in life, and I was lost as to what life would be like without him, because he was my inspiration to do a business degree at Mason. The day he passed, I had a choice to make. I could let this life-changing event tank me, or I could get back up and fight to the finish. Luckily, I chose the latter, and with the tremendous support of my family, friends, and Mason faculty, I stayed motivated and passed all 18 credits of classes that semester with no less than a B. After taking online classes from home in Richmond for 2 years, I came back to campus with a new mindset and the goal to finish my degree with courage and confidence. I picked up where I left off and put myself in new clubs and organizations and met even more new students. Today, seeing the finish line, I can't help but reminisce about the beauty of my journey, of the late-night IHOP meals with friends, the hours of dance practice with Mason Mahima, the weekend-long retreats with Thubi Nachle, the study abroad trip to Spain and Morocco, the amazing times I've spent with the Alpha Xi Delta girls, and many more lifelong memories. You may relate to this journey, or you may not. Each student here has had different experiences shape the way for their arrival here today. But what is important to remember is that your journey is the souvenir you keep for your accomplishments. Make it a memorable one. Being here with you all today is a part of my journey that I will forever cherish. I would like to thank the Mason faculty and staff for bestowing upon me this amazing opportunity to speak to the spring class of 2022, my people. Although we have come from afar and wide, different races, ethnicities, backgrounds, and statuses, we are here today united. Same destination, different journeys. As you hear your name being called at these degree celebrations and cross the stage to the finish line, I hope you too reminisce about your family and loved ones, your friends, the events, the Mason faculty, the ups and downs, the hard work, and the many other factors that contributed to your unique, successful, and memorable journey to graduation. I encourage you to take those life's lessons and memories with you to your future destination, wherever that may be. And I advise you to always remember the journey when you reach your destination, and to not be regretful, but grateful for the way you arrived. I hope to take my memories, life lessons, and this amazing journey with me to my future destination at the Richmond Federal Reserve. So, let's stay in touch, because, of course, we're all joining the Alumni Association. Let's keep our network strong. Let's help each other through our lives and careers. Let's meet at alumni events. Let's earn another degree from Mason, but first, let's celebrate this one. With patriot pride, donning green and gold, I say once again, congratulations, spring class of 2022. Be prideful in your accomplishments today and go forth courageously to your journey tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagya. Thank you. Thank you, Bhagya, and congratulations. Well, as Dr. Washington mentioned, and Bhagya also just told us, the George Mason University Alumni Association is your lifelong and career-long connection to Mason. Upon graduation, you become an alum, and also a member of the Mason Alumni Association, a community of more than 220,000 patriots around the world. And now that you're on the cusp of being graduates, please welcome Sumit Srivastava, member of the class of 1994 and the president of the George Mason University Alumni Association, as he welcomes you to membership in our Alumni Association. Sumit?
Thank you, Provost Ginsburg, and hello, Mason Nation. I'm not sure I could build on that. I'm your commercial for the Alumni Association for today. But what Bhagya said, what Dr. Washington said, and even Stu Shea, the connections you make here are incredible. So I want to start by congratulating and welcoming the class of 22 into the Alumni Association. Congratulations. As others have said, you're now a part of an alumni association that has somewhere between 220 and 225,000 members, as you've heard today. It keeps growing, it grows every day. And you've reached this major milestone. Well, I think about that number, first of all, and as you think about that number, I want you to think about the fact that you've reached where you are today with family and friends and professors and counselors and others with help. But now you get this new family. You get a family that has walked in your steps that is 220,000 strong. And what does that mean, right? That means that no matter where you go now and what industry you join, there's probably an alum that's walked in those shoes. It means no matter where you settle, there's a location with an alum nearby that you can count on. So I want you to take this Patriot Pride with you wherever you go. Enthusiastically tell your Mason story to anyone who will listen, right? And you'll follow and as you meet alumni along this journey, you will see that we're a community that helps each other along the way. And speaking of help, and this is the commercial, it's always important to remember that there are many ways for you to engage as an alum back into our community. So as others have said, you can come and mentor, you can speak in the classroom, you can come back and attend events, and of course, you can be philanthropic when you do all of that. And you can find all of these avenues available to you by going to alumni.gmu.edu and find the various ways to stay connected. Alumni are one of the greatest assets a university has. It's through the dedication and accomplishments of our alumni, now you, that we get to serve Mason and serve the next generation, that we get to sustain long-term value for our degrees, and that we contribute to the broader world community. So congratulations again, class of 2022. I wish you continued success as you strive for the pursuit of your better self. And remember, once a patriot, always a patriot. Go Mason.
Now the moment we've all been waiting for.
Mr. President, as Provost, I have the honor to present candidates for doctoral degrees, the highest degree in course. Will the candidates for degrees of Doctor of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy please rise and remain standing?
I confer on you the doctoral degree for which you stand. I bestow upon you all the rights and privileges belonging to that degree, and I welcome you into the company of scholars.
And I am honored now to call upon the new doctors to come forward to the platform for the presentation of their diplomas by President Washington. Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jeanette Muir, will announce the candidates by field of study. And we ask the audience if you would please hold your applause until all and each of our doctoral candidates, now doctors, have been announced. As the candidates proceed to the stage, I am pleased to extend to you, each and every one of you, my personal congratulations. Doctoral education is challenging, and engaging in studies at the doctoral level is both inspiring yet also rewarding. And you have chosen a path that provides a rampway to great achievements and also consequential impact. You've dived deeply into a field and topic that you have chosen for your dissertation project. You've needed to work hard, to focus, and you've needed to persevere, and to remain patient yet also optimistic, even during those moments of frustration when you wondered if you would ever complete the doctoral course of study. It's been said that pursuing a doctoral degree is a daring adventure. Well, indeed it is, and indeed it has been. Through it all, you have accomplished what few are able to say they have done. Less than 2% of our nation's population holds the doctoral degree. You are prepared to pursue knowledge by asking questions, by researching answers to the most vexing, the most complex, and the most important problems we face today and will face in the future. As you enter the community of scholars, that of attaining a doctoral degree, which that infers, you are poised to have an impact, to engage in the work of your field, and to make a consequential difference for each of us in our world. I look forward to learning about your next daring adventure, and I am confident that you will make a positive difference in your community, our nation, and our world. I'm inspired by you, pleased for you, and I celebrate each and every one of you. All of us at Mason, our faculty, our staff, our students, our entire university community, indeed all of Mason Nation, applaud you for this incredible accomplishment. Congratulations.
Mr. President, I present new Doctor of Arts whose field of study is musical arts. Michael Barranco. Colton James Morris. Michelle Eve Richardson. Brian Hiroto Stenson. Ling Tring An. Mr. President, I present new doctors whose field of study is nursing practice. Sonia Ansari. Yeah. Ama Boting. Kathleen Chang. Dilise Chebi. Ahmad Rashad Clemens. Patricia Cole. Madeline David. Jessica Harley. Regina Harrison. Catherine Huang. Fun Lee. Zahida Noor. Lisa Poirier. Yep, over here. Bernard Cordy. Joseph Rogers. Andrea Sabo. Caroline Stowe. Ermelinda Tisak. Abane Wolfsadek. Ashley Wiest. Miriam Zamilis Osabu. Mr. President, I present new Doctor of Philosophy whose field of study is biodefense, Mary Sproul. Mr. President, I present new Doctors of Philosophy whose field of study is bioinformatics and computational biology, Pooja Katkar. Lina Mohammed Sait. Kiran Kumar Susankar. Mr. President, I present new Doctors of Philosophy whose field of study is biosciences, Dana E. Austin. Marissa Ashton Howard. Caitlin Woodson Lehman. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is chemistry and biochemistry. Laura Abandu. Catherine Olging. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is civil and infrastructure engineering. Olugbemi Osumolo Oroke. William Christopher Graves. Jeremy Johnston. Okay. Mr. President, I present new Doctor of Philosophy whose field of study is climate dynamics. Olivia Gods. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is communication. Adebanke L. Adebayo. Henry Cayley Huber. Wendy Beth Riemann. Mr. President, I present new Doctor of Philosophy in Computational Social Science, Na Zhang. Mr. President, I present new Doctors of Philosophy whose field of study is conflict analysis and resolution, Yerevan Adhan. Farishta Sahi. Singmila Shimra. Mr. President, I present new Doctors of Philosophy whose field of study is criminology, law, and society. Latasha A. Butler. Jennifer Embry.
We got 74.
Shannon Magnuson. Lina Marmolejo. Heather Prince. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is Earth systems and geoinformation sciences. Ida Azarani. Brendan James Hurley. Catherine Mary Kolbicki. Lee Lin. Sean Liu. Philip Edward Moorfield. Deshwan Shah. Ishan Shams. Ji-Ki Yu. Chen Zhang. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is economics. Rachel Catherine Baer. Marcus Brun Borkheim. Gregory Walter Caskey. Robert Cripps. Ann Hobson. Zachary Blake Kessler. Derek Craig McAfee. Nathaniel Webb Smith. Dylan Tozan. Aisha A. Yusuf. Stephen G. Zimmer. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is education. Elizabeth Laiwa Chan. Laura L. Dahlman. Giovanni P. Dazzo. John F. Doris. Yay, John. Hiba El-Sherbini. Maxwell Joseph Gokalwin. I said that. I will say it again. Maxwell Joseph Gokalwin. Nasim Kawaja. Matthew Corona. Jennifer L. LeBron. Andrew Nathan Porter. Stephanie Staley. Lee Stride. Kelly Elizabeth Webb. Asia Williams. Sehun Yoon. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is environmental science and public policy. Natalie Hall. Fiorella Andrea Briceno Hort. Let me try that again. Fiorella Andrea Briceno Horta. Stephanie Schmidt. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is health services research. Negin Asazadeh Zanjari. Christian Betancourt. Megan R. Brett. I just felt there. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is history. Megan Brett. Okay. Alyssa Toby Farringer. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is information technology. Omoche Cheche Agata. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is linguistics. Omar Ahmed Al-Khonini. Sarah Alamri. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is mathematics. Deanna Colonna Easley. Peter Rizzi. Siegel Thomas. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is music education. Sarah Ashley Fabian. Mr. President, I present new doctor of philosophy whose field of study is neuroscience. Rachel Keith. Mr. President, I present new doctor of philosophy whose field of study is physics. Ryan William Fifley. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is psychology. Jose Antonio Calvo IV. Anne-Marie B. Defiant. Claire Niehaus. Naomi Pack. Shannon W. Schrader. Paige Trojanowski. Emma D. Whitmire. Carol M. Wong. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is public policy. John E. Gudgel. Mohammed Mehdi Nayabpour. Mr. President, I present new doctors of philosophy whose field of study is rehabilitation science. Emily Kessel. Randy Jamil Pugh. Mr. President, I present new Doctor of Philosophy whose field of study is statistical science. Chao Tan. Mr. President, I present new Doctors of Philosophy whose field of study is systems engineering and operations research. James Lee. Matthew James Powers. Ali Sayed Mazloum. And Mr. President, I present new Doctors of Philosophy whose field of study is writing and rhetoric. David Powers Corwin. Go David. Veronica Garrison Joyner. Jessica McCaughey. And Lacey Wooten. Mr. President, this completes the awarding of the highest degrees in course.
Congratulations to all our new doctors. Before we begin the continuing degree conferrals, I'd like to ask the Dean of the Honors College, Dean Sophia Burr, and the Honors College graduates here today to please stand and be recognized for your exceptional effort and accomplishments. While taking on additional academic challenges, over half of you have had leadership roles. Please stand, honors graduates. As we recognize the graduates from our Honors College, over half of you have had leadership roles in registered student organizations, 2/3 of you have participated in community service, and 3/4 of you have completed internships. Congratulations. We thank you for your contributions to our university community. The deans of the university now will present the candidates for bachelor's and master's degrees, and the president, by the authority vested in him by the Board of Visitors of George Mason University, will, by a traditional formula, confer degrees. All candidates have been approved by the faculty of the college or school for the degree for which they stand, and all degrees are conferred contingent upon certification by the Office of the Registrar that all degree requirements have been satisfactorily completed. Each college and school has degree celebrations that have been held earlier this week and will be held throughout the weekend at separate events. At those degree celebrations, candidates for degrees in their respective major fields will be honored. We officially confer degrees upon all graduates today, and we thank the students who are here today representing your fields. Mr. President, the Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Dean Ann Artis.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Majors in anthropology, in art history, in communication. Majors in creative writing, in criminology, law, and society, in economics, in English. Majors in environmental and sustainability studies, in foreign languages, in global affairs, in history. Majors in human development and family science, in individualized study, in integrative studies. Majors in philosophy, in psychology, majors in religious studies, in sociology, Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? I call now candidates for master's degrees in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. As your major program of study is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in anthropology, in applied and industrial organizational psychology, in art history, in communication, in creative writing, in criminal justice, in criminology, law, and society. Programs in economics, in English, in foreign languages. Programs in global affairs, in higher education and student development, in history. Programs in interdisciplinary studies, in Middle East and Islamic studies, in philosophy, in psychology, and in sociology. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Dean of the College of Science, Fernando Morales Wilhelm.
Mr. President, I call now the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Science. As your major program is called out, please rise and remain standing. Majors in astronomy, in atmospheric sciences, in biology, in chemistry, in computational and data sciences, in forensic science, in geography, in geology, in mathematics, in medical laboratory science, in neuroscience, in physics. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Science, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? I call now candidates for master's degrees in the College of Science. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in applied and engineering physics, in bioinformatics and computational biology, in biology, in chemistry, in climate science, in computational science, programs in earth system science, in environmental science and policy, in forensic science, in geographic and cartographic sciences, in geoinformatics and geospatial sciences, in mathematics. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Science, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees and course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Interim Dean of the College of Education and Human Development, Robert Baker.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Education and Human Development. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Majors in Early Childhood Education for Diverse Learners, in Elementary Education, in Health, Fitness, and Recreation Resources, in Kinesiology, in Physical Education, in Sport Management, in Tourism and Event Management. Mr. President, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? I now call for candidates for master's degrees in the College of Education and Human Development. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in athletic training, in counseling and development, in curriculum and instruction, programs in education leadership, in learning design and technology, in educational psychology, in kinesiology, in special education, and in sport and recreation studies. Mr. President, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Associate Dean in the School of Business, Patrick Soleimani.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Business. As your major field is called, please rise and remain standing. Majors in accounting, in business, finance, in information systems and operations management, majors in management and in marketing, Mr. President, as the Associate Dean of the School of Business, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? I call now candidates for master's degrees in the School of Business. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in accounting, in business administration, in finance, in management, in real estate development, and in technology management. Mr. President, as the Associate Dean of the School of Business, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, Dean Jermaine Lewis.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degree in the outstanding College of Health and Human Services. As your major field is called, please stand and remain standing. Majors in community health, in health administration, in health informatics, in nursing, in rehabilitation science, and in social work. Mr. President, as Dean of the outstanding College of Health and Human Services, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will recipients of the bachelor's degree please be seated? I call now candidates for a master's degree in the College of Health and Human Services. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in health administration, in health informatics, in health systems management, in nursing, in nutrition, in public health, and social work. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of the master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Dean of the College of Engineering and Computing, Dean Ken Ball.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Engineering and Computing. As your major field is called, please rise and remain standing. Majors in Applied Computer Science, in Applied Information Technology, in Applied Science, in Bioengineering, in Civil and Infrastructure Engineering, in Computer Engineering, in Computer Science, in Cybersecurity Engineering, in Electrical Engineering, in Information Technology, in Mechanical Engineering, in Statistics, and in Systems Engineering. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Engineering and Computing, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor degrees please be seated? I call now candidates for master's degrees in the College of Engineering and Computing. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in Applied Information Technology, in Bioengineering, in Biostatistics, in Civil and Infrastructure Engineering, in Computer Engineering, in Computer Forensics, programs in Computer Science, in Cybersecurity Engineering, in Data Analytics Engineering, in Digital Forensics, in Electrical Engineering, programs in Information Security and Assurance, in Information Systems, in Operations Research, in Software Engineering, in Statistical Science, in Systems Engineering, and in Telecommunications. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Engineering and Computing, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you the degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, Dean Rick Davis.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. As your major field is called, please rise and remain standing. Majors in art and visual technology, in computer game design, in dance, in film and video studies, in music, and in theater. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? I call now candidates for master's degrees in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Programs in art education, in arts management, in graphic design, in music, and in visual and performing arts. Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Dean of the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter School for Peace and Conflict Resolution, Alpazlan Ozurdam.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor's degrees in the most outstanding Jimmy and Rosalind Carter School for Peace and Conflict Resolution. Majors in conflict analysis and resolution. Please stand. Mr. President, I have the honor to present candidates for the degree in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? Mr. President, I call now candidates for master's degrees in the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter School for Peace and Conflict Resolution. I should get it right. Will the candidates for master's degrees in conflict analysis and resolution please rise and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor to present candidates for the degree in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, the Associate Dean of the Schar School of Policy and Government, Ming Wan.
Mr. President, I call now candidates for bachelor degrees in the Schar School of Policy and Government. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Majors in government and international politics and in public administration. Mr. President, as the Associate Dean of the Schar School of Policy and Government, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all of the rights and privileges thereunto belonging.
Will the recipients of bachelor's degrees please be seated? Mr. President, I call now candidates for master's degrees in the Schar School of Policy and Government. As your major program is called, please rise and remain standing. Program in biodefense, in international commerce and policy, in international security, program in organization development and knowledge management, in political science, in public administration, in public policy, and in transportation policy, operations, and logistics. Mr. President, as the Associate Dean of the Schar School of Policy and Government, I have the honor to present candidates for degrees in course for which they stand.
I confer on each of you that degree for which you stand, with all of the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I welcome you into the company of scholars.
Will the recipients of master's degrees please be seated?
Mr. President, this concludes the awarding of all degrees for the graduating class of 2022. Congratulations to all.
This now completes the conferral of all degrees at George Mason University. Will all degree recipients please stand? You may now move your tassels to the conferred position from right to left. Congratulations to you all. You are now alumni of the George Mason University. Please join me in the singing of your and our alma mater.
George Mason, we honor you today. Our alma mater is the source of patriots' pride. From far and near around the world we come to learn, side by side. We love our George Mason, we're proud of the green and gold. Those colors stay with us, those colors grow with us, those colors keep us patriots, true and bold.
Thank you, Case. In closing, today, each of you will depart George Mason University as an ambassador for this university. We are so proud to know that Mason will accompany you wherever you go because of how you grew here intellectually, socially, and in so many ways. Best of luck to you all. Go Patriots! I'm just going to process. I've been elected. Hold. Second suite, room at 1. Here we go.